you can see, we have a pile of books here, so I still have a lot of books to read, you guys. So today we chose How Much is a Million by David Schwartz and pictures by Steve Kellogg. I don't know if I read that right, but it sounds like that. How Much is a Million? Again, this is a second-hand book and it has a message. You know what's great about buying second-hand book and they have message for the person? I think this was signed by the author himself. Am I correct? Yeah, it was signed by the author himself. Wow! Amazing to get a second-hand book that was actually signed by the author himself. Wow. Lucky me. So let's start.
For Mom and Dad who started me on the little numbers, for Jody who made me pick up the pace, and for my Mary Lou who is 1 in a million. From David Schwartz. To Pam and Steve with a million loving wish. From Steve Kellogg. If 1 million kids would climb onto one another's shoulders, they would be taller than the tallest buildings, higher than the highest mountains, and further up than airplanes can fly. If you want to count from 1 to 1 million, it would take you about 23 days. Wow, that's long. If a goldfish bowl were big enough for 1 million goldfish, it would be large enough to hold a whale. Wow, this is a giant goldfish bowl. Presto! 100 stars! If this book had 1 million tiny stars, they would fill 70 pages. Climb aboard! There you have it, 100,000 stars. If we take this 7 pages journey times 10, we'll pass 1 million stars. Let's do that later. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. How big is a billion? If 1 billion kids made a human tower, they would have stand up past the moon. If you sat down to count from 1 to 1 billion, you would be counting for 95 years. If you found a goldfish bowl large enough to hold 1 billion goldfish, it would be as big as a stadium. If this book had 1 billion tiny stars, its pages, spread side by side, would stretch almost 10 miles. How tremendous is a trillion? If 1 trillion kids stood on top of each other, they would reach way, way, way beyond the moon. Beyond Mars and Jupiter too, and almost as far as Saturn's rings. If you wanted to count from 1 to 1 trillion, it would take you almost 200,000 years. If you put 1 trillion goldfish in a goldfish bowl, the bowl would have to be as big as the city harbor. If you put 1 trillion of our stars onto a gigantic roll of paper, it would stretch all the way from New York to New Zealand. That's the end of the story. I hope you enjoy it. Good night, sweet dreams, and thank you for watching. Please don't forget to comment down below because I would like to hear from you guys.